North Carolina, obviously excited to have an opportunity to play for the ACC championship. And anytime that you play for a championship, you're going to have to earn it. And that's definitely the case this week. They are much improved on defense from the defense that we played out here last year. That was pretty obvious when you turn on the video. Coach Chiswick has done a great job with their defense, with their scheme. They're very disciplined. They keep everything in front of them. We've got 7 starters back, I believe, and they've got a lot of experience there on the defensive side of the ball. I believe they're ranked number 19 in the country in scoring defense. So they're doing a good job of keeping people out of the end zone. I think they're only giving up about 20.8 points per game. And then also ranked in the top 20, I believe, number 19 in pass defense. So they've done a really good job against the pass. Very athletic. They run well. Linebackers, very athletic guys, cover a lot of ground along with the secondary. And this will be a big test for our offense. And it seems like this year, we've had to earn everything that we've gotten on the offensive side of the ball. I know going into the South Carolina game last week, I believe, we'd played 5 of the top 20 defenses in the country in total defense. And so it's kind of the year of the defense going around the ACC right now, and these guys will definitely be a big challenge for us. But our goal is to go out and play our best game. We've had a lot of success and done a lot of good things this year on offense, but I don't think we've played our best game yet on offense and our most complete game yet, and I think we're getting close, and that'll be our goal to put that on display there in Charlotte Saturday night. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Jeff, what exactly is going back to fundamentals when you talk about the fumble issues? I would think you'd have done that a long time ago, and can you characterize what you actually do?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of things. Whenever we go through it starts at the very beginning in our flex runs, whenever we start off every day of practice, rather than go through the flex runs, how typically you would do it. All of our skill guys have a football, and all of our coaches are walking around. Y'all have seen us out there with the boxing gloves trying to knock the ball out. And those guys are having to do all their flex runs, holding the football high and tight and in the proper position. And then throughout practice, we chart what we call BIJs, which means ball in jeopardy. So anytime we see a ball that gets outside of the framework and it's not put in that correct position, then we track those, we grade those, and hold those guys accountable for things like that. And really just, coach it whenever you see it, talk about it. These guys will learn from it. And, it hasn't been something that's been a major problem all year. And we've just been fortunate that we've been able to overcome the ones that we've had so far. I think the worst thing that you can do is go panic and just start going crazy and all that, because then you get guys start playing timid, playing scared, afraid to make mistakes, and that's not who we are. We're gonna obviously we want to be well coached. We want to play fundamentally sound, but we're gonna go out and play with a lot of confidence and put it all out there. So there'll be a fine line this week, and in fact we're gonna coach it, we're gonna learn from it, but then we're gonna move on and keep doing what we're doing.
Some coaches, some old school coaches say that these things are cyclical, that you go through these spats of things and then eventually you're just going to work its way out and then you.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe last year, maybe towards the end of the year, we fell into the same thing. We had some turnovers, and then we went into the bowl game, and I think we had 0, and maybe Oklahoma had 5. Right there in the bowl game. So I think that can happen. It's very similar to maybe in baseball when a good hitter gets in a slump, and it just it takes a little while to get out of it. And but sometimes they do come in cycles or bunches, and hopefully we're on the other end of that. And so we'll keep working on it.
Jeff, you mentioned the poise when the game gets tight. Obviously, Deshaun's a big part of that, but in general, y'all's experience in a lot of big games the last couple of years provides that sort of comfort, kind of an advantage in this situation?
Yes, I do. I think number one, as coaches, the way that we handled it on the sidelines, I think our players see that and respond to that. And there was a lot of confidence. Even after Artavis put that ball on the ground, we go over to him and say, hey, we're going to count on you here a little bit later, so let's get over it and keep moving. And we feel very confident that we're the better team and we're going to play 4 quarters. And but I think the players, I think offensive line, just the leadership that you have in that group, and really all those guys buying into it. And there's been plenty of situations in the past where maybe we found ourselves, kind of where we were Saturday, and it did not go the way we wanted to the rest of the game. And I think part of that is experience, learning from it, and then part of it's just the mental makeup of the guys that you have on your team. And like you said, Deshaun, he's got that personality, kind of that even keel personality all the time. So I think that really helps. He never gets too high or too low. And I think once you continue to do that and pull yourself out of any of these situations, there's a lot of confidence that you can, pull from in those situations. And, we told our guys before the game, hey, there's going to be a point in this game where it's not going to go well for us, and we're going to need to be the ones to go turn the tide and just stick with it and know that we're the better team and we get to play 4 quarters, and they're not going to shut this thing down after the first 5 series. And our guys believed in that, and it worked out.
I'd like some insight into a play, if you don't mind. Dabo talked about the throw to Travion on 3rd down, that we had thought maybe we might go conservative, but then I said, well, we're trying to win a championship. Let's go for it. Can you kind of walk us through what's going on the headsets heading into that play?
Well, obviously that was a critical drive, and we wanted to get points out of it. It was a 3rd and long, and we had another play called, and just at the last second, just didn't like the look they were giving us. So Coach Swinney called timeout, and then I think we got to the play that we ended up calling. We got to that play pretty quickly. It was a play that we'd called earlier the drive before, and we felt pretty certain whenever we went empty what look we were going to get from the defensive side of the ball. To be honest, we really thought it was going to go to the boundary, to where Deion Kane and Sharon Peak were kind of high-low in the corner over there. But when you get Sean back there at quarterback, he sees things very well, and he saw a look he liked to the field, and that's why I give Travion a lot of credit, because he really was not the primary target on that play. But he ran his route. We always talk to our wideouts. It doesn't matter who the number 1 read is for the quarterback. You run your route like he's throwing it to you, and then that way when he does, you're not surprised and you're where you're supposed to be. And to be honest, we were in empty. There was 5 guys that could have gotten the ball, and Deshaun worked his way to the field, and the ball showed up right there to Travion on one of the biggest plays of the year.
Is that what you call a big-time throw, too?
Oh, yeah. I think anytime you're making a throw from one hash all the way to the other field, about 20 yards down the field, that's a big-time throw, and there's not a lot of guys that can make that throw, but he definitely can.
How much have you looked at North Carolina? Obviously, I think on Saturdays you're pretty involved, so you maybe gotten a chance to see them throughout the year, but what do you personally know about, sort of what they bring to the table defensively?
Yeah, well, I think most of what I know is, what I watching them all day yesterday, and then today through lunch, from this morning through lunch. And defensively, they're playing together. There's not a lot of missed assignments. When you look at the big play cut up, they haven't given up a lot of big plays. Kind of what their philosophy is. What it looks like to me is, they want to keep it in front of them on defense and not give up the big play, and then they want to outscore you on offense. And that formula has worked really well for them this year. And so, that's what our challenge is to be able to find a way to get some explosive plays with the scheme that they run. And, they require you to drive the whole length of the field. They've given up some yards, but the scoring, they're 19th in the country in scoring. So they're doing a really good job of not letting you in the end zone. And but it'll definitely be a good challenge. And the good thing for us is, we've played some good defenses this year, and we've had success versus those defenses. So I think our guys will have a lot of confidence. But ultimately, it's going to come down to our execution, for those 4 quarters. And that's what, Monday through Friday is all about, is preparing and practicing so that we can go out and execute at a high level. And we'll have to do that to have a chance to have success.
Doesn't being patient also play a big role in that, and being that, like you just said, they're so tough in the red zone?
Yeah, I think so. They're a defense that's going to want to make you drive the whole length of the field, and not give up the 2 or 3 play touchdown drives, and so that they are going to require you to be patient and have a good mix between running the ball and throwing the ball. and so it'll require us to be at our best.